After securing their first podium of the 2025 Formula One season, Ferrari now has the momentum they need to push forward with their development of the SF-25. Charles Leclerc's strong performance at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix showed the true potential of this year's car, especially in race conditions. But it also made one thing very clear: Ferrari still has work to do when it comes to qualifying performance. If they want to consistently challenge for wins and maximize their strategy options on race day, they must start further up the grid. This is a weakness that has carried over from the SF-24 of last year, and now it seems that the issue hasn't been fully resolved in the current SF-25 either. At the moment, Ferrari is focusing all their efforts on addressing this qualifying problem with a series of planned upgrades. These are not just ordinary updates. They are strategic improvements designed to bring performance gains exactly where they're needed most. Rather than rushing the upgrades for the upcoming Miami Grand Prix, Ferrari has made the wise decision to hold off and instead introduce them at Imola, which takes place 3 weeks from now. The reason for this is simple. Miami is a sprint weekend, and that format offers very little time to test and adjust new parts. Ferrari knows that if they want these upgrades to be effective right away, they need to be installed, tested, and fine-tuned in a proper race weekend format. That's why Imola will be the key turning point for the SF-25's evolution. Leclerc's drive in Saudi Arabia gave Ferrari a clear picture of what they're capable of when everything works as intended. He showed exceptional tyre management during the first stint, staying on the medium compound longer than most of his competitors. By the time he finally pitted, he had built a strong enough tyre offset to push hard during the second stint. This decision played a major role in securing the podium. In fact, when looking at the lap times during that hard tyre stint, it was obvious that the Ferrari was among the fastest cars on track, if not the fastest outright. This performance proved that the car has what it takes to compete at the front, but the main problem is getting there from the start. If Leclerc had not been stuck behind George Russell in the opening phase of the race, the outcome could have been very different. Based on the data from that race, Ferrari believes Leclerc could have challenged the leaders if he had started further up the grid. That's why fixing the qualifying pace is now their #1 priority. Right now, the SF-25 shows strength in race trim, especially with tyre degradation and consistent lap times, but that strength can only be fully used when the car starts close to the front. This is what Ferrari is aiming to fix with the Imola upgrade package. So what exactly can we expect from this upgrade package? While details are still limited and based largely on informed speculation, it is expected that Ferrari will focus on specific aerodynamic and mechanical improvements rather than a complete overhaul. The upgrades will likely target the floor, diffuser, rear wing, and possibly some of the mechanical components that affect balance and traction. These changes won't be easy to spot from the outside, as a lot of them happen underneath the car or inside the suspension system, but they will be designed to help the SF-25 unlock more performance during one-lap runs in qualifying. It's important to understand that this upcoming package for Imola is not Ferrari's major upgrade of the season. That more comprehensive update is still in the works and is expected to debut later in the year, possibly around the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. That's when a technical regulation change will come into play, specifically regarding front wing flexibility. The FIA is tightening the rules to reduce flex on the front wings, and both Ferrari and Red Bull believe this will benefit them while potentially hurting McLaren, who is thought to be gaining performance from a more flexible design. This context is important because it shapes how Ferrari is approaching their development strategy. The upgrade for Imola is more of a short-term fix, targeted improvements to help with qualifying performance, while the Barcelona package will be a more complete update designed to enhance every area of the car. So Ferrari fans shouldn't expect a completely transformed SF-25 at Imola, but rather a smarter, more focused version of the car that's better at putting itself in a strong position from the start of the race. We should also consider the history of in-season technical changes and how they can disrupt performance. In 2022, for example, Ferrari had a very strong start to the season, but once a mid-season regulation change came into effect, specifically affecting their floor design, they lost a significant amount of performance and were never able to fully recover. This kind of disruption can have a big impact on a team's ability to challenge for wins, and that's why Ferrari is being very careful and deliberate in how they time their upgrades in 2025. At Imola, we could see adjustments to the geometry of the floor, particularly in the Venturi tunnels, which help create downforce through ground effect. The team may also make modifications to the rear wing and diffuser to improve the aerodynamic balance and help with corner exit stability, both of which are important for strong qualifying laps. On top of that, there could be mechanical tweaks that improve the way the car handles in low-speed corners, which are often the key sections where lap time is gained or lost during qualifying. Of course, none of this is officially confirmed yet, and Ferrari is keeping things close to the chest. But based on previous upgrade strategies and what the car currently needs, these areas make the most sense. Improving low-speed traction, increasing aerodynamic efficiency, and ensuring a more stable rear end will all help the SF-25 perform better over a single lap, which is where Ferrari needs to gain the most. It's also worth noting that this approach of introducing smaller, focused updates can be very effective when done properly. Not every upgrade needs to be a full car transformation. Sometimes, solving one or two specific issues can unlock a lot more performance than expected. If Ferrari can get their car into the top 3 in qualifying more consistently, their excellent race pace will do the rest. They won't need to spend the first stint stuck behind slower cars, and they'll be in a better position to fight for wins on strategy and tyre management. The timing of this update also aligns with Ferrari's long-term goals for the 2025 season. With McLaren and Red Bull both looking strong early on, Ferrari needs to find a way to close the gap without relying on rivals to make mistakes. By making these adjustments ahead of the European leg of the season, they give themselves a better chance of scoring big points and building momentum going into the crucial mid-season rounds. At the same time, the team will continue working on the larger Barcelona package, which could feature even more extensive changes to the chassis, floor, and possibly the power unit. That package is expected to not only improve qualifying but also boost downforce levels, tyre management, and overall race pace. It's being designed as a comprehensive solution to the SF-25's limitations, and Ferrari will be hoping it allows them to match or exceed the performance of McLaren and Red Bull on a consistent basis. But before that happens, the Imola upgrade will be the first real test of Ferrari's development direction in 2025. It's a chance to show that they understand the car's weaknesses and are capable of fixing them. It's a sign of intent from the team that they are not content with podiums. They want wins, and they are ready to do the hard work to make it happen. Looking back at Leclerc's performance in Saudi Arabia, it's clear that the potential is there. The fact that he was able to extend his stint on the medium tyres and still be one of the fastest cars by the end of that phase of the race says a lot about how Ferrari has improved their tyre management this year. In previous seasons, tyre degradation was one of Ferrari's biggest weaknesses. They would often fall back during the race after qualifying well, simply because the tyres couldn't hold on. But that's no longer the case. Now they need to turn that race strength into full race weekend strength, starting from Saturday. That's why the work being done behind the scenes at Maranello is so